Right folks, let's talk about a subject that nobody seems to give a fuck about. Posture. The funny thing about this is you'll see that old man or old lady in the street with their posture like this, properly bent over, and you'll comment on it, and you'll mention it, and you'll see it, and it's quite obvious to you. But when it comes to what we do day to day now in our 30s, our 40s, and our 50s, all of these behaviours are what influences that posture, which gets you that way in the first place. Well, one of the reasons anyway. So why aren't we doing something about it now? We are all products of the 21st century, which means that we spend a lot of time doing this, or this, or this. We spend a lot of time in what's known as a kyphotic position. Shoulders slumped forwards and a very kind of bent spine. But obviously, as time progresses, you'll find yourself hunching over and over and over until you're 80 years old, and the most exciting thing you've got to look forward to is what your shoes are going to look like. So, let me give you a few top tips to what you can do to improve your posture. So first we need to talk about what causes bad posture. And most of the time it is a tightness of the anterior muscles, so the shoulders, the chest, etc., and the abdominals, and a weakness in the posterior muscles, so the back of the shoulder, the back, trapezius, etc., etc., etc. So how do we fix these? Well, first things first, we need to stretch these muscles across your chest. Now, please don't stretch when you're cold, make sure you're nice and warm, ideally after a workout or after the end of your day when you've been active. So we need to stretch your chest and your shoulders. So an ideal stretch to do this is placing your hand up against the wall with your fingers pointing backwards, lock your arm out and then rotate away from that. You'll feel a stretch all the way across your shoulder down towards your bicep. Do this on both sides, holding it for about 30 to 60 seconds. Yes, it's not uncomfortable, but it's going to be very, very worthwhile. Another stretch you can do is grab yourself a nice broom handle. I've got my trusty pink one here. You'll remember this from a previous video. And that's hold on to the broom handle, slightly wider, and then raise it above your head. The goal here is we're trying to bring that broom handle as far back as we possibly can. If you can't quite do that, no worries. Just extend your grip a little bit further out to the sides and bring it overhead again. So there's a couple of stretches, but there's God knows how many on YouTube. I recommend having a little browse to stretch the front of your muscles. What you now need to do as well is work your back. So you need to focus on rowing movements, movements that pull towards your body. That can be TRX suspension, that can be barbell rows, dumbbell rows, doesn't matter, any kind of pulling movement. You also need to focus on posterior raises, so taking two dumbbells for example and raising them out behind you to tighten what's known as your rear delt. With all these muscles tightening and these muscles loosening, you will naturally find that your posture improves. There are some simple things you can do as well. If you're spending the majority of your day in a kind of a slumped over or poorly postured position, then what I'd recommend you do is just be more mindful about the way that you're holding yourself. When you're driving your car, try and push yourself to the back of the seat. Try and make sure you're nice and upright, or maybe adjust the lumbar support in your seat, at your office chair, or in your car. I also spoke in a previous video, which you can see here, about the posture that you have when you're doing your workouts. Using the broom handle trick, it's also very good for practicing day to day. What we're looking for is a nice straight head looking dead ahead. Posture also comes with confidence. So this sounds like a really silly thing to mention, but it's directly linked. If you're not feeling great about yourself, if you're not feeling good, then chances are your posture is going to be shit. You're going to be quite closed in, you're going to be quite shy, quite kind of insular. What I'd recommend you do is make steps to improve your confidence. So folks, there's a few ideas for you to help improve your posture. One of those things that we all forget about, but it's going to become very, very important later on in life. Not to mention, if you stand taller, you naturally look more confident. You look like you know what you're fucking doing, even if you don't. Thanks you very much, folks. I will see you on the next video. And don't forget to share this one, especially with someone who spends their life looking at their fucking toes.